The world of C-drama glamour thrives on carefully polished smiles, elegant red carpets, and perfectly scripted interviews. Yet every once in a while a moment slips through the polished surface and reveals something raw, emotional, and impossible to ignore. Today we are stepping into one of those moments. Because whispers have erupted across fan circles that something dramatic unfolded behind closed doors involving Bai Lu, Dylan Wang, and Shen Yue. What began as a quiet private conversation is now being described by insiders as a confrontation so intense that it left everyone who witnessed it stunned into silence. If you think you understand the story you have seen online, think again. Because the truth behind this emotional turning point is far deeper and far more surprising than anyone expected. Stay with the story until the end, because what happened that night could change the way fans see these three stars forever, and the final revelation may leave you completely speechless. It all began on a calm evening inside a luxury hotel known for hosting elite industry gatherings. The kind of place where producers, directors, and actors gather quietly to discuss upcoming projects far from the noise of paparazzi. That night, the atmosphere inside the private lounge was relaxed. Conversations floated through the dimly lit room while glasses clinked softly and distant music created a peaceful backdrop. Among the guests was Dylan Wang, whose growing popularity had made him one of the most talked-about actors of his generation. Fans admired his calm confidence and the natural chemistry he shared with many co-stars on screen. But those who knew him closely often described him as far more private than his public image suggested. Across the room, Bai Lu had just arrived. Known for her vibrant personality and captivating performances, she carried the same warm energy that fans had come to love. Yet something about her expression that night seemed different. Instead of her usual laughter, there was a quiet intensity in her eyes, as if she had arrived with something important weighing heavily on her mind. Shen Yue was also present at the gathering. Her gentle charm and thoughtful nature had earned her admiration from both audiences and colleagues. She was speaking with several producers near the balcony doors when the atmosphere in the room suddenly shifted. Because Bai Lu had approached Dylan Wang. At first their conversation seemed ordinary. Two actors greeting each other after a long schedule of filming and travel. But those sitting nearby quickly sensed that the tone of their discussion was far more serious than anyone expected. Witnesses later described how Bai Lu's voice grew softer, yet more urgent, as the conversation continued. She leaned closer to Dylan Wang, speaking with an intensity that suggested this was not a casual exchange. The room remained lively, yet a small circle of people nearby began to notice the emotional weight behind her words. No one could hear everything she said, but fragments of the conversation drifted through the air. Her voice carried a mix of frustration, vulnerability, and determination. And then came the moment that left everyone stunned. Bai Lu looked directly at Dylan Wang and spoke a line that would later become the center of countless online discussions. She asked him to end things with Shen Yue. The words hung in the air like a sudden storm rolling across a clear sky. For a moment Dylan Wang did not respond. Those watching described how he remained perfectly still, as if carefully choosing how to react. His expression shifted from surprise to deep contemplation. Across the room, Shen Yue noticed the tension. Her conversation with the producers slowly faded as her attention drifted toward the corner where Bai Lu and Dylan Wang were standing. She could not hear the exact words, but she could see the seriousness of the exchange. The atmosphere in the lounge felt completely different now. Music continued playing softly, yet the emotional gravity of the moment seemed to quiet everything around them. Bai Lu continued speaking. Her words were filled with emotion and urgency, as if she had reached a breaking point after holding something inside for far too long. Some witnesses said her voice trembled slightly, while others described it as a determined plea. Dylan Wang listened carefully. Instead of reacting quickly, he allowed her to finish. His calm presence contrasted sharply with the emotional energy of the moment. Those who knew him well understood that he rarely made important decisions in the heat of the moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet yet firm. The exact words remain known only to the few who stood closest to them, but those present agreed on one thing. His response changed everything. Bai Lu's expression shifted instantly. For a brief moment, she seemed caught between disappointment and acceptance. The determination in her eyes softened as the reality of his answer settled in. Across the room, Shen Yue watched the exchange unfold. Though she still could not hear the conversation, she sensed that something significant had just happened. The energy between the three actors had transformed the mood of the entire gathering. Moments later, Bai Lu stepped away. She walked slowly toward the balcony doors where cool night air drifted into the room. Several guests gave her space, sensing that she needed a moment alone. Dylan Wang remained where he stood. For a long time he did not move. Those nearby said his expression reflected the weight of the conversation he had just experienced. Shen Yue eventually approached him. Their conversation was far quieter than the earlier exchange, yet it carried its own emotional depth. Unlike the dramatic intensity of Bai Lu plea, this moment felt calm, thoughtful, and deeply personal. The rest of the evening unfolded quietly. Guests continued their conversations, yet everyone sensed they had just witnessed something unforgettable. No cameras captured the moment, and no official statements would ever describe what truly happened. But stories travel quickly inside the entertainment world. Within days, whispers began circulating among fans. Small details from that night slowly emerged, creating a narrative that spread across online communities. Some fans sympathized with Bai Lu's emotional honesty. Others admired Dylan Wang's calm response. Many wondered what Shen Yue had been thinking when she realized the conversation involved her relationship. The truth is that moments like these remind us that behind every celebrity headline are real people navigating complicated emotions, friendships, and decisions. Fame may place these stars under a constant spotlight, but it does not shield them from the difficult conversations that shape every human relationship. For Bai Lu, that night may have represented the courage to speak openly about her feelings. For Dylan Wang, it may have been a moment of clarity about what truly mattered to him. And for Shen Yue, it may have been a quiet test of trust and understanding. The story continues to spark discussion among fans who wonder what the future holds for these three beloved actors. Will their friendships remain strong despite the emotional confrontation? Will the industry continue pairing them in projects, knowing the history that now exists between them? Only time will reveal the answers. But one thing is certain. The night Bai Lu asked Dylan Wang to end things with Shen Yue will remain one of the most talked about moments in recent C-drama history. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are not written in scripts or filmed under studio lights. They unfold quietly in real life, where emotions are genuine, choices are difficult, and the consequences ripple far beyond a single conversation. And if you want to uncover more hidden stories behind the world of C-drama fame, relationships, and unforgettable moments, stay connected, because the next revelation might be even more surprising than this one.